Welcome into the Devil's Digest game preview as Arizona State gets set for its final regular season matchup of the year against none other than the University of Arizona, the Territorial Cup matchup this year in 2025. The first time these two teams have been ranked since 2014. As always, I'm Justin Lestertosa for publisher Hoderbino. Before we get into things, we'd like to quickly thank our sponsors, starting with Burrito Express, the best burrito in the Valley, bar none, with 100% fresh ingredients and authentic recipes. They sponsor various ASU athletes, two NIL deals, and have great deals, some great bang for your buck as well at all 9 of their Valley locations. So for more information, go to theburritoexpress.com and get yourself the best burrito in the Valley. And another thank you to our other sponsor in Santan, Ford. No car dealership in the Valley has helped hook up ASU players with more deals on their cars than Santan Ford. So if you're in the market for a new or a used vehicle, head up the 202 freeway in the Val Vista, go to Santan Ford, and they'll get you set on a new deal. And Hode, as I just alluded to, the first time since 2014 that both ASU and U of A are going into a Territorial Cup game ranked. And these instant rivals are both ASU number 20, Arizona number 25, both standing at 8-3 overall on the season. It's a rarity, to say the least.
Yeah, it really is, and I think it just adds that much more excitement and that's more intrigue to this game. U of A does not have a chance at playing in the Big 12 championship game. ASU does have a slight chance, obviously dependent on what BYU, Utah, and Texas Tech are going to do this weekend. But nonetheless, I think it's been 8-3 season for both teams, but for U of A, it's been one of those years where I think a lot of things were just clicking on all cylinders more often than not. And with ASU, it really has been, as Bill Parcells says, don't talk to me about the labor, show me the baby. So the way ASU reached all those 8 wins up until last week against Colorado has been definitely laborious to say the least. Colorado was the first game where we saw the offenses absolutely explode like we probably expected in some other games earlier this year. And if people recall, even that road game at Boulder was not easy at all for the first 3 quarters. So, definitely different paths that each team has taken up until now to get this 8-3 record. But ASU, whether they think their chances of reaching the Big 12 championship game are small or actually pretty big, you always want to finish the year with a win over your in-state rival, and I think that a win under these circumstances, just because U of A is playing as well as they are, and just because, like you said, Justin, is also ranked like ASU is, I think that just gives this game just a different meaning, because the last 2 years we saw U of A beat ASU when they were really down, and then last year, the tables were turned. So a win this year in the Territorial Cup just carries a little more meaning for ASU if regardless if they are going to be or not going to be in the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah, and this Arizona defense ranks in the upper echelon of the Big 12 in many statistical categories, and it's actually number 1 against the pass. So it's going to be a pretty tall task for ASU in the aerial attack. But if there's one weakness for this Wildcat defense, it's stopping the run, and that falls into ASU's hands pretty well, coming off Malik Brown's best game of his career.
Yeah, I think that if you're ASU, ever since Sam Levitt has not been in the lineup, you just know your running game is a bread and butter. I mean, Jeff Sims obviously has been showing capabilities of being more than just an okay running quarterback. Malik Brown exploding for the 255 yards against Colorado, now eclipsing the 1,000-yard mark, and Sean Aguano, the running backs coach, having an unbelievable track record that dating all the way back to 2018. And obviously you take away the 2020 COVID year, he has produced in each of those years a running back that had over 1,000 yards from scrimmage. Malik Brown just being the latest. Kind of interesting that we thought it was going to be the running back by committee, but we also thought to ourselves, well, don't be surprised if it won't be running back by committee, but just one running back that's going to be the alpha dog in that running back room that's really going to carry the load. And this year it's been Malik Brown. It's been really, really impressive. I also think the fact that Arizona with their defensive coordinator, Danny Gonzalez. So obviously was a defensive coordinator back here in 2018 and 2019. Plays the 3-3-5 scheme, which obviously with extra defensive back can make it really difficult to pass the ball. And I think what's also interesting that even though Arizona does have the top passing defense in the Big 12, in terms of generating sacks, they're nowhere close to being in the upper echelon. So I think that just shows you how well the secondary does play. And it's not that ASU wants to be one dimensional, but having a heavier weight towards the run versus the pass against a running defense that is more or less middle of the pack, that on more snaps than not is just going to have the three down linemen. I think it really behooves ASU to really go to the strongest aspect of their offense. Again, the way Ridley Brown is running the ball, the way Jeff Sims is running the ball. You also had reserve running backs like Kanye Uda and Jason Brown scoring touchdowns, getting a little more confidence after they've been pretty much non-existent for earlier in the season. I think that is something that ASU absolutely has to utilize because you don't want to test this second for Arizona too much with very, very good secondary players like Genesis Smith, for example. Obviously, U of A knows exactly what ASU is going to try to accomplish. So I'm really curious to see how successful they are against the run, because if ASU is going to be caught in third and long situations, that could be really, really difficult for the offense to overcome come Friday.
Yeah, on offense, this U of A team has no problem putting points up on the board, and having a veteran quarterback like Noah Fifita shows the value of having an experienced leader on that side of the ball. He's arguably playing some of the best football of his career. What is this ASU defense going to have to go in with?
Yeah, like you said, Justin, Noah Fifita is showing that the way he played last year, which was a struggling season for the entire Wildcat team, was definitely an operation. He leads an offense that scores over 33 points a game, uh, averages over 400 yards. And you look at Fafita's numbers, I mean, they're absolutely eye-popping, averaging 243 yards passing, 25 touchdown passes, only five interceptions. And just to have a veteran quarterback with not having a star wide receiver like he had for the past 2 years in T-Mac, I think just shows that he's definitely one of the better quarterbacks in the Big 12. And I think if you're ASU secondary, you definitely have your hands full. You just hope that the fact that you really improved as a pass rushing defense, as a defense that generates a lot of tackles for loss, that really is going to come and showcase itself on Friday. Because if you're going to give Noah Fifita time in the pocket to pick apart the defense, he can definitely do a lot of damage. And I think that even in some of the games that the U of A won, when you had teams really applying a lot of pressure on Noah Fifita and really getting in his face, that is something that disrupted the offense quite well. I wouldn't be surprised if ASU really tries to generate more pressure only with four down linemen, because when you have such a very strong passing offense like Arizona, sometimes just flooding the zone with extra players in coverage is probably going to be the way to go on some certain situations, because again, getting in his face doesn't mean that you have to blitz more than just your four down linemen. So I'm just really curious to see how ASU does over there. But this is just going to be one heck of a challenging offense that ASU is going to have to face. Maybe not the punishing running offense that ASU saw against Utah, and maybe to some extent against Houston, but nonetheless, just an offense that you really don't want to start going off with their passing game, because they've proven all year long that they can be quite lethal in that department.
For sure. And when you look at the recent history of the Territorial Cup, last year, Arizona State went into Tucson, 49-7 blowout victory. The year prior to that, though, the Wildcats coming into Tempe in a blowout win of 59-23. The last two matchups have been very lopsided, with these being two ranked teams. Feels like fans are due for a close Territorial Cup matchup, but nonetheless, how do you expect this game to pan out?
Yeah, this is definitely going to be another close game for sure. I think it's really going to come down to more of the defensive performance rather than the offensive performance. I'm expecting ASU to run the ball pretty well, just because of their own capabilities to begin with, as well as the fact that U of A with that 3-3-5 and really not showing all year long that they're a stout run defense. I think that really does fall to the hands of ASU. But on the other side of the ball, again, it's just a matter of can ASU generate more pressure without taking players out of coverage. So no, Fafita is going to have a harder time distributing the ball. This is not an extremely strong ground attack by U of A, and I think that ASU can do well, in that department. And even if Noah Fafita may feel more comfortable than other quarterbacks in third and long situations, I think if you just put him in those scenarios more often than not, I think that can help ASU quite well. But ASU pretty much in every win, aside from the game against Colorado, which again for the first 3 quarters definitely looked too close to comfort. Doesn't know any other way to win, but just to be a white knuckle game, be a very very stressful game for the fans in the stands and even for the coaches on the sidelines. I got to imagine. But I think ASU can do just enough to overcome U of A. This is definitely going to be a much closer affair than the last couple of games have been. I'm expecting Arizona State to win this game 23-20.
Well, thank you, Hood, as your insight per usual. We will be at Mountain America Stadium on Black Friday for this Territorial Cup game. So stay tuned on all the coverage. Go to DevilsDigest.com. Follow Devils Digest on Twitter at Devils Digest. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors in Burrito Express and Santan Ford. And as always, for publisher Hood Urbino, I'm Justin Lacertosa. I'd like to wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you guys again on Friday night.